Hello and welcome back. I'm Jack, and this is Mission Reloaded Gaming. Here we are in episode 2 of the Empire's list of ships. The short preface. So these are ships to be shot at by players. Don't be offended if they are a little light on turrets on the bottom. It just happens to be an inherent faction flaw that you can take advantage of in the foreseeable future. Alright, on with the show!
So this is the Supernova class command cruiser. I believe one of the last ships that has these turret designs. It barely bridges the gap between a cruiser and a battle cruiser. That's why it's called a command cruiser. It has quite a large hangar bay on the top of the ship, which can hold about 6 fighters. And it also has quite a decent amount of weapons, carrying 22 dual laser cannon turrets. Of the hangar, you see, it's enough to dock about 6 Scylla's or the Sigma, so they're quite decent in that. If you go over, well, of course they open how the ships leave.
I mean, I was just like, I don't know if I haven't seen anything that actually would allow these to open, so I'm impressed.
Just walk up to the main control station. But basically, yeah, the plan was to have both of them slide outwards like this. And basically, they just opened this rear part, so ships have only like half of the hangar bay to actually leave from. That one, and open the other one. But yeah, also the ship has some gribble. The interior is there. As a ship, it doesn't have the most durability, as its hangar is quite large and it doesn't allow for too much hull to be placed there. But yeah. I'd say this is quite a decent one. Yeah, this is the only one I actually called a type and not a class, called the bulk type. And it's basically what it sounds like. It has one small laser at the back to protect it from anything. Its insides are filled with seats for crew members and people. Yes, so this thing is it also has quite an interesting backstory. My inspiration for this were of course World War II battleships, and so this destroyer called the Inquisitor class. So its main guns, as you can see, are 3 dual maximum length weapons, which by one turret itself doesn't seem too impressive for a destroyer, but it is on a capital ship, and these guns are quite flexible. I'd say that it's quite a decent amount of firepower. You can see on the sides are point defense guns, which means the ship is very effective in combating strike craft and any smaller ships. And on the bottom, if you check the bottom, it has, I believe, 7 of the standard dual laser cannons. So that's the first iteration of the Equalizer, the one where the guns are still yellow or green, whatever that color is. So basically, I mean, since I have 3, and yeah, that one is just no clipping. Since I have 3 equalizers, this is the Mark 1, which appeared like at the start of the war, and it was like one of the most powerful. It's not the most powerful cruiser out there, as it had, I believe, 16 or 14 triple Imperial guns. Those are just as powerful as the dual, but these are triples, so this thing packs one heck of a punch. And on the sides of the ship, there are a total of 26 single mounted turrets, which have great firing arcs and can shoot almost directly upwards. And they are actually the main source of firepower on this thing. But yeah, this is the oldest version, so this one looks kind of ugly. So yeah. Now we have the Hive. The ships that actually took me far too long to finish that I would have liked. Once again, turrets without any resting positions. As you can see, that looks hideous. So it has massive hangar bays on the inside, with multiple entrances. I think it's able to stock about 40 or 30 strike craft, which is quite decent for a ship, which is about 300 meters long.
Sir, Amazon called. They want to rent out your warehouses.
This is the main hangar. The ship is actually super fast for its size. Its main armaments are just dual Gatling guns, so it's quite effective against strikecraft. And it only has 4 single maximum powered L4 R4 laser cannons. It has no weapons on the bottom, so it's quite weak there.
Now, was that on purpose?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't want this to be like a kill-all ship. Because even this amount of firepower actually makes it kind of kick-ass.
Ah.
And this command bridge is actually inspired by the First Order Dreadnought from The Last Jedi.
I was noticing that.
Okay. Yes. Probably one of my proudest creations recently, the Conqueror class heavy cruiser. As is said in the lore, it's made to be the backbone of the fleet, but since it was too pricey and took too long to build, it became like a flagship of Imperial fleets, which operated on the edges of systems, on the edges of Imperial space. For a ship of its size, it carried a hangar bay, which could carry 4 fighters, which is decent for its size, considering that the what is it called? The Supernova carries 6, but that is a dedicated semi-carrier. This one is an actual warship. It's armed with, I believe, how much? Wait, you can just pan the camera over the guns. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, I think it's 12, 14. So I think it has 14 dual guns, which have this new design, which makes them able to depress and elevate like up to 90 degrees. So the firepower in those guns is good for its size. Its secondary guns are triple turrets with a length 3 barrel. 2 dual ones, which are placed directly on the side of the ship, which are also, so yeah, these are the triple ones, and these are the dual ones, which are able to shoot straight down, so they are kind of for orbital bombardments or something. Then on the bottom, yeah, as I said, there's like, I believe there's 6, so there are actually 16 duels. It can carry 4 fighters, not bombers, because the hangar is quite small on the inside. It's quite small that you just miss it, literally. So yeah, it's very small.
Miss the entrance.
But yeah,
well, I'm seeing that the Imperial's might is more or less in capital ships more than it is fighter base.
Yeah, definitely.
Over this little one right quick.
So that's the what is that one called? I think that's the Stalwark. Is that its name? Wait, let me check. Actually, then that's a Stalwark. So this thing appeared. This is a gunship armed with 2 quite powerful lasers at the front, 2 turreted lasers at the side, which are, since they are turreted, they can shoot also backwards, and 2 missile pods. Now, it's supposed to have 6 missiles, but invisible decals, yay. It's kind of like the Hawk, but it's more specialized in assaulting capital ships and stuff. This is also the Equalizer Mark 1. Turrets also don't yet have the resting positions, and basically I don't think anything changed apart from the color scheme, and that's kind of it, I think.
So the color schemes, I'm assuming it was just you playing around with it, or is this like a specific like hero ship or villain ship?
That's just me playing around with the ship because I wanted to make it interesting.
Okay.
Yes. The so far the only battle cruiser I did, the Purifier class. If this was in Star Wars, this would have been the Allegiance, a large ship which doesn't carry any strike craft, but is armed to the teeth with guns. It has, I believe, 25 dual of these laser cannons, 8 quad maximum powered also laser cannons on the sides, which look like Imperial 2 Octopus turbo lasers. It has literally an ISD bridge, quite literally, apart from the sensor array above it. But yeah, also these things on the sides are shield generators and stuff. It has I think decent interior. It has also some internal engine bays. So if the the external engines are destroyed, the internal are still there. These are the old turrets once again, so they are not able to aim straight up. So, and the ship is, for its size, I'm not sure how maneuverable it is. I didn't actually check that out.
So I can already tell you, it actually is pretty maneuverable. It's more maneuverable than your green one, than the Mark ones of that other size you're talking
The
about.
maneuverability are quite good for its size, being faster and more maneuverable than the Corollas. Okay, yeah. This is the Pulsar class frigate. This one was actually updated. As you can see, this command bridge is updated, so it's risen above the turret. This is the original command bridge. It's this like window just stare directly at the turret, and it's actually impossible to drive unless you go F4. So this is actually kind of cruiser size. I think it's over 110 meters long, but it's still a frigate for its role. It's quite decently armed with 8 dual turrets, but it doesn't have any on the bottom. It has actually a small hangar bay, large enough to fit one fighter or one small ship inside. It's directly on the top. This thing right here. So that's the hangar bay, and has a one spot to fit anything. So it's like one fighter or one shuttle or something. So this is like a dedicated battle frigate. So it's made to function alongside of cruisers, corvettes, and just in fleets, which is seen compared to like the broadsword, because that is like a patrol frigate made to just patrol around and engage smaller ships. Yes, this is what is it called? The Cyclops class docking ship, another Imperial non-faction ship, which is basically the Byzanti. It can carry about 6 fighters on the sides of it. It has decent speed and basically Corvette maneuverability. It doesn't have any capital grade weapons, so it's absolute trash against ships of its size. And it is quite large for it. It's, I believe, frigate size, like 80 meters or something. But it's
beautiful.
It is, if I say so myself. But yeah, it's just made to carry ships around, or even since this is also a non-faction ship, it can also function as a cargo hauler. Jesus, this is the Riposte class light cruiser. This is my actually first attempt to ever coloring a ship, and you see how bad it went. I literally just had yellow black markings on near the command bridge, and it just looks weird. But hey. So this is also, I believe, my second ever capital ship I built. It's made to be a glass cannon. Also, these turrets are quite powerful, but there's only 6 of them. I mean, there's actually 6 of them. Now the ship is quite fragile, and as I said, it's a glass cannon. It's also quite fast, and has decent maneuverability. Yes, the big boy. So now imagine me, a little scrub, June or July last year, trying to come up with a cool ship and just putting this thing together in about a week or two. And I was super proud because this thing was massive when I was. Of course, it has tons of modifications. So this beast is armed with, I believe, 46 dual turrets, and they're actually more powerful. These have length 2 recoil barrels, while the standard Imperial turrets have length 1 recoil barrel, so they're even stronger. It has, I believe, 7 quad guns, and it has, I believe, 3 triple. Now, this ship is also super slow, not very maneuverable, but it's justified. It's for its size. As you might want, Carol's. Just fun fact. Yeah, fun fact. I named it after one of my favorite Sabaton songs, and also a Swedish king. Probably like the greatest Swedish king. Even though I'm not Swedish, so for a moment. Now since I actually redid this one, I can call it the beauty. This thing right here was my first capital ever I built, called the Victoria class Corvette, also named after the Sabaton song Primo Victoria. Now actually nerfed its firepower a bit. It now has 2 standard Imperial turrets, and it has a bunch of like point defense AA guns. So it's not made to engage any capital ships, but just to mop up fighters. That's why it was also quite decent in maneuverability. It has a small super laser at the front, which is made to just rip into shields. Actually, below the ship, not at the front. I'm lying. Just drop
Oh,
down
there it is.
below. Yeah, see this one, which has tons of add-ons and actually deals decent shield damage. Yes, now this is the Poltava class artillery cruiser. This is I believe 140 meters long, so it's a bit shorter than the Equalizer, but it has tons of firepower. With these triple turrets, it can deal tremendous amounts of damage. And on the bottom, it has only 4 Imperial dual turrets, which are okay when ships get below it, and so it just rips apart into Corvettes and Frigates. But they are not going to be of particular use against anything larger. So this ship is devastating when it's used in a fleet, in some kind of effect. But if this thing is a lone wolf and it's facing fighters and stuff, it's gonna fall down quite easily. These turrets are very well designed by Sidmoka actually, so they track and fire very well. These are shield generators, by the way. The ship, as I believe, has a bit below average mobility and dynamics.
Just needs to stay way back and pummel things.
Kinda, yeah. Yeah, I think that's the one. Let's see it for the color. So this is the Equalizer Mark II, which appeared later in the war, with redesigned turrets. So they have plenty of elevation. Also redesigned, not redesigned, but basically just improved these trench guns. Also, I made the ship super smooth. So if you look at the surface of this ship, like if you move up now a bit, look at the surface. Yeah, the surface is so smooth compared to the original ones, where I didn't know some blocks existed, and I was just there placing slopes and wondering why do my ships look like shit.
Yes. So a rearmor and a rearm, and you have a Mark III.
Mark II, yeah.
Mark II,
because
Mark II.
yeah, the original ones are Mark I, so this is the Mark II. So yeah, once again, this is a capitalist killer. It also has very good hull strength with 7 million, I think, which is for a ship 150 meters long. Great. It also has a redesigned engine bay to make it look more like a Star Destroyer. I think it's actually less than the original, so it's a bit slower in the original, but everything else is like better. So I think that's a decent.
I like it. I can really see the progression in the format here. I love it.
Yeah. It also has a redesigned command bridge. If you from the outside and the inside, it's no longer just one big window. It's actually like structured and armored now. And there's also inside more on the. There's also more on the inside. But yeah, now this looks like a proper command bridge.
Whee!
Yeah, that's an elevator.
Whenever you need an AT-AT on the bridge.
But other than that, I don't think there's too much change. I also added this little area on the engines on the rear. So there's like a roof of the engines on the engines.
Ah, the skirt.
Yeah, if you will.
The kilt, if you want to be manly about it.
Yeah, let's call it a kilt. That's totally appropriate. I think we all know what the last one is.
And please join us for the last episode of this installment of the Imperial line. For the big daddy of them all, the Super Framerate Destroyer. I'm Jack, fly reckless.